Banking sector sort of driving sentiment on the market. We've seen most banking stocks doing well so far, of course, on the back of results. Are you expecting any surprises?
Well, not really. We may not see, a lot of surprises. If you look at the performance of the banks that have released results so far, incidentally, it's coming from the underperformers in 2011. That's Diamond Bank and UBA. Skye Bank came in just recently on Friday. If those underperformers now are posting very impressive results, then we would expect even better performances from the likes of Zenith Bank, GT Bank by the time they release results this week.
So you're saying you're not expecting any laggards this time around?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's look at the consumer goods stocks. I mean, food and beverage stocks didn't perform so well. In fact, we saw some of the stocks cave due to bearish sentiments. Let me give you specifics. Nestle, Honeywell, Flour Mills, Cadbury, Dangote Flour all shed some points last week. What do you think is behind the bearish sentiment in that sector?
I think it's the underlying performance of these companies. We know in Nigeria, food and beverages companies, and most especially manufacturing companies, face a lot of hiccups when it comes to getting their goods to the market. I think a lot of distribution cost overhang is affecting these companies, and quite a few of them, a large chunk of them, actually depend on input sources from outside Nigeria. We've seen that impact negatively on their performance. The volatility in commodity prices in the past few years has impacted their performance, and that we expect to go on until Nigeria is able to fix those bottlenecks that affect their production and their efficiency going forward.
And certainly inflation is a concern for these companies. We're expecting inflation to come out soon. We saw it at 12.9% and then going down to 12.7% actually.
Yes.
So what do you expect the inflation numbers to be this time around?
I think the fact that inflation, or the question about inflation remaining in double digit is no longer an issue. We expect inflation to remain in double digits. Whether it's going to come down gradually or drastically is another point. But when you look at the fundamentals, you find out that the pass-through of the challenges that we have in the macroeconomy in terms of distribution costs for companies, in terms of infrastructural challenges that companies face, will continue to play out on inflation going forward. You recall that in the last couple of months, food inflation has actually played a very key role in determining what the headline inflation will come out to be, and we expect that to continue. Companies continue to face cost pressure, and a large chunk of the inflation numbers are most times cost driven. And I think that will continue. The CBN has made some efforts in trying to curtail or control inflation. I think what the concern is now is managing the volatility. The CBN has come out to say that, in various sources we've seen the limit of monetary policy affecting inflation is gradually becoming a serious issue for the CBN. So we expect, I expect inflation to remain in double digits all through this year, maybe through the first early part of 2013.
Now, talking about fundamentals, what about the naira? I mean, our currency as well has been sort of a concern, but we're seeing it sort of gaining value now. Actually, on Friday, it closed at 162.1 naira to the dollar. Now, traders out there are saying interbank lending rates eased about 100 basis points last week. They're saying they're expecting it to inch up this week. So what is your outlook so far for the naira and how that's going to trade during the course of the week?
I think the impact on the Nigerian naira is more it's better looked at from the global perspective. What is happening in the global economy? The CBN up until 2011, in the last 3 or 4 years, has been defending the naira with all the resources at its disposal, and we've seen a lot of pressure on the external reserves, and the CBN seemed to have slowed down in that defense of the naira and allowing the naira to just slide and sometimes going back and forth, up and down. So we expect that to continue. I do not see the naira appreciating drastically. Okay. The best case scenario we will see will probably a 2% or 3% hop in 2013.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Kayode, for giving us your take.
All right.
That was Kayode Tinuoye, an associate with Skye Financial Services, giving us his take on how he sees the market performing.